just as a check-in, this is Grimier Wednesdays. My name's Judy. I would love to hear more questions and feedback and chit chat in the chat room because it makes me feel like it's AIM again, and it makes me feel good. We're raising money for Virginia Anti-Violence Project that works with survivors of violence in the LGBTQIA plus community across Virginia. They do a lot of really great work. Again, I'm just gonna Virginia avp.org just in case. If you don't have money, maybe you have a friend that does, or two friends that do, or a friend of a friend. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, thank you so much again. We're gonna switch over to Sylken Somers, who is a really, really great artist over in the UK, in England. Put out a new, well, I was gonna say new record pretty recently. I believe it was this year. Regardless, we'll talk about it later. We're gonna have Sylken Somers perform. This is Grimier Wednesdays, and here we go.
That's me. Before I start, I do just want to apologize because my fire alarm will be beeping periodically. It just wants to be involved. But thanks everybody for being here, and I'm gonna play some songs until I get tired of playing them or Judy stops me, and then it will be the end, and then I will talk. I'll just play some now. This first song is called Theft. Down the half-light, got my scissors swung for this night. We're playing a fixed game. The rules have never been the same for me. I felt lost, and I have felt found, and I felt face first on the ground. So let's turn left, no, let's turn right, or let's keep driving through the night. Kind of comfort found in discord under my breath. I curse your contour. I've only got myself to blame. I never let the rules to this game. You hear me cough, you hear me choke. I can't forget to breathe. I'm such a joke. Show me something, tell me something, catch my breath for me. I've been running, take me someplace easy to waste. I hope it won't wash out the taste. I felt lost, and I have felt found, and I felt these words on the ground. So let's turn right, no, let's turn left. Yeah, still my heart. Yes, would you confess? Is this a test? I'm a mess and I'm restless and tired, but I'm wired. So much fire to put out. My eyes burning, skies churning. Season, I'm leaving this time. on the ground. So let's turn right, let's turn left. You steal my heart and you start to rise from the ash to protect whatever's left, and the love can keep. You steal my heart and yes, lies there. What's really great is that nobody can make a single noise to distract me. That's amazing. I'm loving that. Because I'm very easily distracted, except that thing. I'm just not even going to get into it. But I will play a song called Yellow Belly, which I just put out on the last thing that Grimalkin did, which was good. If I can remember how to play it, which is not a guarantee. When the silk starts to fade, redirect the razor blade. Introspect, I'm introspecting. You protect, I've been protecting. How my shaking hands can handle the scalpel when see that I lie on the table. Reject what needs rejecting. Protect what needs protecting. Your touch, your breath. This is such a hard choice to make. Life or death goes my head and my heart to ache. Tapestry, I'm beginning to see my place. Hold on to me, I'll forever be holding space. Cold. Say yours to call upon all I've learned. To love doesn't mean the burn wasn't burned. And I so deeply want the best for and from you. Simply because anything less doesn't become yours. I say honest to call upon all we learn from history, and we can see all we were. I'll always hold you close, I'll hold you near. I'll always hold you tight. Hold on to me, my dear. It's time to heal, it's time to fight. It's time for war, it's time to light. It's time to stand for what is right. It's time to hold each other tight. Touch your breath. This is such a hard choice to make. Life or death, cause my hand and my heart to ache. Tapestry, I'm beginning to see my place. Hold on to me, I'll forever be holding space. But do no wrong, but I'm capable. But my red heart bleeds out on the table. Yellow belly, suspicion, my joy is on the floor. This is what you wishing for could only seem superfluous to those who lack such gaping wounds. Sometimes I lose my focus, but I'm never losing you. you can do so much better. I love you with every cell in my broken body. I know you can do so much better. I got so distracted halfway through that song, and then it was really funny because I literally wrote about getting distracted in that song. So, this next song is called Incandescent. I said you're incandescent, I'm a man. You told me I should be my own light source. I want to be a model, wish I were a dancer. I want to ask the questions I have no answer. I'm a little more than an insect buzzing around your head. Barely registered as little more than an insect. But in all I yearn to be is light. I never seem to be a pleasant sight. The wings and the cover in the eyes. You're so brilliant when no one else can see. You're lost in the dark, no one but me. So teach me every lesson that I might learn, and I hold you fast as you twist and you turn. I'll never let you go, although you burn. I'm a little more than an insect buzzing around your head. I barely registered as little more than an insect. Like the moon, all I can do is reflect, except barely registered as little more than an insect, satellite, parasite. I cannot orient myself without your guidance or your help. You are my light, you are my map, you are my gravity. I can't take it. Excise my mind and replace it with a drone, a hive. I can't face it. Can't blaze that trail. I won't make it on my own. I'm a little more than an insect buzzing round your head. Barely register as little more than an insect. I'm a little more than an insect buzzing round your head. Barely register as little more than an insect. If you see me looking down, it's because I have my little set list that says Grimmy Wednesdays on it. And next is ow. Next is ow, apparently. And beep. Chalk and gasoline. Ink soaking through my pages. I haven't felt this good in ages and ages. You can read me 'cause you wrote me with that I softly spoken, token of your scrolled across my face. Don't know if I can call this happiness, this feeling I can face. For want better words, I must kneeling for your grace. This fate slides to silence, and I am put in my place. Your story's toying with my conscience, out of alignment, have lost it. Conscience, subordinate, I'm flagrant. This screwed up paper is so fragrant. Pavement greets my face. Tastes so sickly sweet. The rotten fruit and flowers mixed with chalk and gasoline. This feeling I can't place. Nauseous and why is this happening again? I bring myself to speak, whispered in my ear. I can't remember what you said. No, it's not important, but it's fucking with my head. The sun will rise each morning, sure as my grief has always been. There's nothing like the taste of chalk and gasoline. I'd fall in love with you again. Then I'd be absolved. Reminds me of that song. I can't remember what it's called. Rotten fruit and flowers, chalk and gasoline. I haven't moved in hours, and I think I may scream. Next on my set list, I had written down to play a song from my EP, and I don't know why, but I'm scared. Because the ones that I put on my EP are not ones that I normally play at gigs and stuff, so I'm not used to it, but I'm gonna try. But so I don't know why I put this one last, because that's really setting myself up to end on a fizzle rather than a bang. But anyways, I'm gonna try, and this is wringing my hands. It's all hanging in, hiding in. I'm honest, I promise. Who rock your back? Quit your crying. making me turn. Ring in my hands, I'm ringing my hands also. Right chest to the left hand sinister path I promise when you're sad, who is making you laugh? You make me twist, baby steps in the sand of some foreign home beach of some lake in me, yeah. Ring in my hands, biting bruised peaches when I hand through my hair, baby grains of pink sand, foreign home reaches from somewhere is my world, and I ring in my hands, I ring in my hands, I'm blasting customers, not quite extended for handshake, should be marking the end of this blasting past hours, not quite extended for handshake. Your coffin so thin, pure white and purgatory. I'm on I promise when I give what is given to me, make me twist, baby steps in the sand of some foreign home beach of some lake in me twist, till I'm bringing my hands, biting bruised peaches when I hand my hand, baby grains of pink sand, some foreign home beach of somewhere is my world, and I'm ringing my hands, I'm ringing my hand, I'm lasting from past times, not quite extended for a handshake, should be marking the end of this blasting from past times, not quite extended for a handshake, should be marking the end of this blasting from past, some compartmentalizing, you broke me, and now I'm realizing I'm wringing my hand, you left me wringing my hand. And yeah, technical difficulties that we just pretend didn't happen. But that I think is gonna be all the songs that I will do.
But yeah, no, that was so wonderful. Thank you so much for performing. Yeah, you played some songs that I hadn't heard before because I've only listened to like the recordings on Bandcamp, I believe. You don't have other recordings out there, right?
Those are my only solo recordings that are on the internet. So yeah, that's it.
Okay.
I just put that EP in January, and then we did a re-release with Grimalkin in March or May, one of the months that began with M.
Oh, I will also say that during your set, some of the beeping, it was like on beat with it too. And so I thought it was really cute. I don't know, I thought it added. And Nancy texted or Grim texted me saying that experimental set.
That's how I was thinking of it too, because like I think every time you perform a song, it's a different song, like in a way. And this version of any of the songs I did today, that is just part of it, and that's the version of the song that is happening today.
No, I love it. It's like a punctuation like during conversation too, because like there's one point when you finish a song, it's like ding ding.
I'm gonna sample it, put it on my next EP. So
I mean, why not? Actually, I was wondering about that. So something that I realized, we're just gonna go right into this because I'm just riled up because that was so great. So yeah, I mean, I was listening to your EP Prone, and that was actually something that I found really interesting about the recordings is that um, there were some times when I was listening, I was just like, I can't figure out like what that is. And then I look at the tags and it says like found sounds. And I'm like, oh, interesting. Okay, so there's like a lot of different like processes and like ideas going into how those things are made. And so I feel like from a lot of that, you kind of tend to there's like a lot of different like genre influences on your work or on the EP. Could you tell us a little bit about the influences that inspired you for it?
influences is interesting because, and like without trying to sound corny, I do think that you're kind of influenced by literally everything that you hear, whether you like it or not. If you dislike something that you hear, it influences you away from it. And if you like something, then it influences you towards it. But I do definitely incorporate bits from a load of different genres, which is why it was really difficult for me to figure out how to tag my EP in terms of genre, because I don't know what it sounds like. I know that I listen to a lot of alternative rock and a lot of alternative pop and a lot of grunge and a lot of, I had my extremely formative emo phase that I refuse to be guilty about. And yeah, like, I mean, I was joking about Britney Spears being an influence recently, and because the album In the Zone, which came out, I think I was probably like 10 when it came out. And but then I was thinking, like, that's not even a joke. Like, that album definitely influenced me, and like My Chemical Romance, Pearl Jam, FKA Twigs, like everything. Like, so it's difficult. But I think I was wanting to, like, I was listening to trip hop a bit before I started recording, and I think I was wanting to kind of have that vibe there, not necessarily try and make it sound like trip hop, but definitely have that kind of vibe in it. But yeah, I like to think of also Kimya Dawson. I love Kimya Dawson, and I kind of think of myself as being like somewhere between if Kimya Dawson and FKA Twigs were on two ends of a spectrum, because they're extremely different. If there was a midpoint, I like to think of myself as there, but then not as good. But that's my aspiration.
That's sick. That's so awesome. It's like you said that, and then all of a sudden, like my brain blasts. I'm like, I can see it. That's exactly it. That's so exactly it. I mean, it's so wonderful. I think it's interesting that you brought up trip hop because that I think is something that did come out to me when I was listening to it. It's kind of like like while it's very beautiful and like smooth and there's like those like pop riffs, there is still like this like kind of like bounciness to it. I think like that kind of energy was really neat. And again, with like all the different kinds of influences, it's really cool. I love Britney Spears. I love her. She was my first like pop star idol or whatever. Like I seriously like I loved her.
She was my actual like proper concert that I went to was Britney Spears when I was I think 10. So
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, she's like honestly so influential and her life is so interesting and like I don't know. I mean, she definitely changed the pop music game, but like also at the same time, I think that she's become someone who is like a quintessential example of pop music. But then
Yeah,
I think for
definitely.
her too, she was also like genre bending. She was just like incorporating so many different things together too that like
I think that's one of pop is that really you can draw from any other genre, really. And she definitely did that.
yeah, for sure. Sorry, I didn't mean to like cut you off. I just get very excited talking about Britney Spears. Also, free Britney. I really hope that she gets free from her dad.
Me too.
Yeah. But that being said, I guess sorry, I keep going off, but I'm still kind of on the genre bending thing. Something that I actually saw in one of the tags also on the EP was new jazz, and I thought that was like a really interesting phrase. Did you come up with that, or did you like hear like where does that come from?
It's definitely a thing, and it is also definitely not a genre that I actually am. But again, it was one of the things that um, was kind of in the back of my mind. I think actually because a lot of the songs that I wrote, well, because the songs of my EP I wrote over a long span of time. And some of them have bits that were written years ago and bits that were written more recently and everything. So there's a lot of stuff that kind of went into it. And there was a point where I was listening to a lot more kind of jazz and new jazz stuff. And I think that kind of trickled through. But again, that was more kind of an aspirational thing. Like I really like jazz and I like the direction that jazz has gone in recent years, which I guess kind of is what the new is about. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and more kind of like influence and aspiration rather than necessarily a descriptor of anything that my stuff sounds like. But yeah.
No, that's a really beautiful way of thinking about it because I think that genres can often be used to kind of pigeonhole people. Like, for example, it's like if you think of uh I don't know, like bedroom pop or something. Like I feel like that it has like such a specific sound attached to it that sometimes it's hard to, I don't know, give new music, give good music a chance. Um, but at the same time, like I think that makes a lot of sense, like exactly what you said about um like different influences and aspiring to be certain ways and like liking certain things and kind of and like, you know, letting that be a part of your work. I think that's really beautiful.
I think as well, like you mentioned bedroom pop, and I think that when I first heard the genre name bedroom pop, I was like, oh, there is a word that describes my genre because my EP was recorded in my bedroom. Aside from the bit that I recorded in the bathroom, but I don't think bathroom pop really has the same kind of ring to it.
I mean, I wish there was a better way to describe it. I recorded in the bathroom too. Bathroom sounds better than bedroom.
It's great
Uh,
acoustic.
yeah, the acoustics are great, but yeah, bathroom pop sound terrible.
Not really. I don't know. It's not the kind of uh it doesn't invoke the kind of imagery that I want my stuff to kind of invoke. So no.
I don't know. I mean, it's like healing and cleansing. Sometimes you just gotta
And
let things go.
generous, and I think that you are a generous and beautiful soul for even suggesting that. Yeah.
Well, I actually do have a question about I mean, I have so many questions about that album, Prone. But okay, no, let me gather my thoughts. My first question about My millionth question about Prone is about the album artwork, because I found that really beautiful as well. And I think that kind of going along the lines of like genre bending and influences, the album artwork reflects that as well, with like a lot of different style patterns, where I was looking at it and it just more and more pops up at me. Could you tell us about the process of deciding on the art and how that came about?
I made that. um I kind of it's part photo manipulation, part digital artwork. So I kind of digitally painted on top of a photo. Um
Okay, cool.
it was a photo shoot that I did with my friend Danny, I guess like 3 years ago now, I'm not sure. But when we'd done that photo shoot, it was for promo pictures for my music stuff, and then I really just didn't do any music stuff for ages, so those photos ended up being kind of out of date, although my profile picture on my music account is from that shoot. But I don't really look like that anymore, so I didn't use it straight up. And I ended up just what it was funny because the few people that I showed the art to before I actually put it out were like, this is gross, this is ugly. um like, somebody was like, is that what you want to, this is the only image people are going to see before they listen to your music, is that what you want them to see? And I'm like, to me it looks like what my music sounds like. That was what I was drawing when I did it, like, to me.
Mm.
And that is, I think if people think that my album art is ugly, then maybe they'll think my music is ugly. But if they like it, maybe they'll like my music, because to me that's what it kind of sounds like. But I'm kind of like it's a kind of synesthesia thing. Like, I kind of drew sensations, and a lot of my writing, like lyrics wise, is transcribing sensations. So it was kind of the same kind of sensations that lined up. And also I like pink, so it's pink. That's basically all I have to say about that.
No, that's really awesome. I mean, I definitely, I mean, people go so many different ways about coming up with like album artwork. So the fact that it is you, like your body, and that you personally put a bunch of work into being able to visually show people how you feel, slash how your music slash that specific album makes you feel, I think that's really powerful. I mean, that there's like so many reasons why, or there's so many different ways to interpret music and like interpret art. So having that there as well, I just think that's really neat to be considering all the different ways that people like take that in.
That's the other thing too, like it is a really abstract image, and a lot of people see like different things in that image, and I like that in the end. Like, a couple of people are like, this looks explicit, and I'm like, it's not, don't worry. But at the same time, like, the EP itself is very emotional and it's very like vulnerable. So the fact that it's this abstract image that some people look at it and they're like, is this safe for work? Like, I don't really mind that. I mean, it is like my arm and my knee, really. Like, that's what's in the
Oh,
image.
I'm sorry,
But
I'm
like,
16
some
years old.
people are
Okay,
like,
continue.
that looks like an ear, or that looks like different things, and I'm like, it's fine, you can see what you see in it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, same goes for music. It's like you can hear what you hear, but at the end of the day, like, since it's your work, you're putting forth what you want, and then people can take it as they will.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I do love the little nudge though of just like, if you're wondering how I feel about it, here's this, image that you can look at.
Yeah.
It seems like go hand in hand.
That's the idea, that's my idea.
No, that's really awesome. You also actually put out a song for the Grimalkin and Friends compilation, Yellow Belly. And that's separate from the EP. But is that kind of its standalone thing?
That was supposed to be on the EP, but the EP, I set myself like a self-imposed deadline to put the EP out because I wanted to put it out on my birthday. So I ran out of time, and the process of that EP coming together was mental, by which I mean like I was mental. So it was crazy, and I didn't end up. There was supposed to be 7 songs on it originally, and then ended up with 3. So that tells you what happened. It doesn't tell you what happened, and you don't need to know. But like, but yeah. So Yellow Belly was supposed to be on the EP, and then when Grimalkin were putting out that compilation, I was like, oh great, I can bring this song that I meant to bring with my EP, even though I hadn't started on it yet, so I had to do it from scratch for that. But yeah.
That's really wonderful. I can see it like being on the same EP, but yeah, but also it's a really great part of the playlist as well. I just think it's a really great playlist, and that song definitely stuck out to me as like, oh, this like touches my heart. So that was really nice.
Aw.
You you actually brought up a little bit earlier about having not played shows in a while. So I've never been to England before. I don't really know what like the DIY or like music scene is there. So our show, this is such a silly question. Whatever. Are shows going on there?
Now,
Yeah.
um
I don't know what it's like there at all.
things aren't really happening right now. More things are open. A lot of more things are open than should be,
Hmm.
for the amount of risk, if that makes sense. I haven't known of shows happening yet. I've seen a couple of people starting to like say, oh, maybe in September, like, and putting out the feelers for that. I don't show that, to be honest. Like, I've never been here because being chronically ill and being disabled, and being I'm gonna say recovered, past tense, agoraphobic. um, it's been I've always kind of been kind of on the periphery. Like when I was a teenager, I used to go to a lot of shows, not so much play them myself. I did occasionally, but I used to go to like local bands here. I used to go see them, but in terms of actually playing, I've really often been on the periphery of scenes, just because it's exhausting, really. But yeah, so I don't know, like right now things are definitely decimated by the pandemic, like, and a lot of my friends who are artists are struggling with that emotionally and financially, and I mean it's the same everywhere to a degree, obviously, but yeah,
Yeah,
it's
for
hard
sure.
times.
Yeah, I think it's so interesting since I guess different countries handle it differently. I don't know. I mean, it's just like hard enough to think about how it is in America that I don't often look at what's going on in other countries unless it's like out of like jealousy or like disgust. I don't know. There's like only like there's no in between for me, I guess.
No, I get that, and I felt a bit of that too with looking at other countries' responses that have been better. I think that the UK's response was kind of similar to the US response, maybe not quite as bad in some areas, and um, I think just the scale of the US makes it a different situation as well. But we definitely had our government making some interesting choices when it came to, like, I mean, at the beginning of the pandemic, really the thing that was botched was they were trying this whole herd immunity angle, like, hey, everyone just carry on your life as normal, and if everyone gets sick and dies, then, well, you know, at least you've had the virus. And yeah, I think that
So like
was
survival of the fittest.
really, though, like, I mean, there was some low-key kind of social cleansing vibes, but that's the Tory government, so
Yeah. I mean, I think I empathize with that for at least America, the idea of
yeah.
honestly of it being like used as like social cleansing. I mean, people hate poor people, people hate marginalized people, Black people, so super fun. But yeah, no, it's definitely I mean, gosh, there's like so many memes about in these unfortunate times, in these perilous times, uh, in these unfortunate blah blah blah, whatever. Um, it is definitely important for us to be thinking about the future and the beautiful things that we have going on right now. And so this is the same question that I actually asked the lovely people in Phantom Adele earlier. Is do you or I guess what would you like to see in the future, either for yourself as an artist or just like in general? Open question.
I think I have found it really difficult to think of the future at all recently, so but I think it's good to. Um, I think it helps you get through a difficult time if you're looking forward to what might happen. I would like
Yeah.
I would like this pandemic to be over. That's what I want.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
that would be nice. But I've been thinking as well about just the in recovering from the pandemic on a global scale, wanting to see positive change in certain areas rather than just returning to how things were before is what I've really been thinking of. So like on a small scale or on a me scale, accessibility stuff, like a lot of the stuff that's been happening during this pandemic to involve people in a socially distanced way has also been stuff that's really good for people that were already struggling to be involved in stuff. So like Zoom stuff, or just having stuff available that you don't need to be physically present for, like working from home, which is suddenly available to people which wasn't before for whatever reason. And
For whatever reason, yeah.
financial assistance for people that is suddenly available that wasn't before, like stuff like that could be supporting and including more people. Seeing stuff like that continue past the pandemic and also move forward in that direction, in a positive direction after something like this, is what I would like to see.
For sure. Yeah, definitely going through crisis makes people reevaluate their lives. So I definitely, yeah, I agree about appreciating the ways that people have become more generous and things have become more accessible. And just because we've had to do that, I mean, I wish that these things could happen regardless of, a pandemic and just keep growing from there. So hopefully people will just kind of keep going off of that, and just keep using those things in the future. Because yeah, you're right. It's like it's really important. So my last question for you is, how can we support you directly?
My favorite way for people to support me would be through Grimalkin, because that is my most important thing to me right now. So my stuff is up on the Grimalkin Bandcamp. I also obviously have my Bandcamp as well. But yeah, support Grimalkin. That would be a way to support me. And also follow me on Twitter, because I want my Twitter to have more followers than my private account. Thank you very much. That's
Isn't it just your name, right?
Yeah, well, it's backwards. It's Summer Silken. That's the one
Right.
that gave me, and I didn't change it. So
Definitely. I highly recommend everybody um listen to the Grimalkin and Friends comp just as a general, just really, really great playlist.
it's
Also
amazing.
to oh my gosh, yeah. And Sylken Somers and I believe Phantom of like I the whole gang's there on there. And so it's really wonderful introduction, but definitely listen to Prone by Sylken Somers. Listen to Panic Picnic by Phantom Adele. Listen to the sound of my sweet voice saying to donate to Virginia Anti-Violence Project if you haven't already, or if you're not able to, ask a friend maybe, or just learn a thing about sexual violence and healing and restorative justice and do a nice thing for yourself. I don't know. They're really great. And so I believe that's all from myself. Is there anything else that you would like to add, Silken Somers?
I would like to add that everyone, I hope you are doing okay, and if you're not, I hope you're doing very well soon.
Sweet. Yeah. Thank you so much for being on the show and talking about your music and your life. And for
Thank you
just
so much for having me.
yeah, definitely. And thank you all for being here, everybody who has been supportive. Um, yeah, just to close out, my name's Judy. This is Grimier Wednesdays, presented by Quiet Ear, Grimalkin Records, and rumblepak. VirginiaAVP.org is the website to donate, but also in the chat room we have the different links and Bandcamp. So please, please, please support the artists and just listen to it. It's so good. It's so good. Thank you all. Have a good night.